Question 1. If I was the president who was an expressive leader, there are multiple steps I would take to resolve this social dilemma and restore order in the leadership position between the vice president and CEO. The first step I would take would be reaching out to each of them and asking for a meeting. I would make sure to let each of them know that they are not in any kind of trouble so that I do not cause unneeded anxiety. Next, I would sit down with each person and ask them why they are at odds with the other person. I would listen to each of them and remain objective. The next step that I would take would be consider what each of them is feeling and find ways to resolve their negative feelings towards each other. First, I would talk with them individually about what they can do to resolve the tension. Then I would sit down with them together in a room and have them talk about what issues they have with each other. I would act as the mediator and interject when needed. If a fight arose, I would diffuse the situation by talking them down and help them talk to each other in a kind manner. After they had talked to each other, I would help them resolve the issues that they had in whatever ways were available to me so that their relationship was peaceful and was no longer affecting the company in a negative way. Question 2. The first kind of formal organizations are voluntary organizations. These are organizations that members join and leave of their own free will. Some example of these organizations are hiking and biking groups or serving within their church. These members are not paid for their participation, but instead are paid in enjoyment of the group that they are participating in. The next group is coercive organizations, which are organizations that people join against their will. Some of these organizations include being committed to a mental hospital or having to go to prison. These are different from voluntary organizations because people do not have a choice to join coercive organizations, but they are often groups people do not enjoy. The last kind of formal organizations are the utilitarian organizations. These are organizations that people enter or become a part of for practical reasons. Some of these include college or labor unions. They were not forced to enter them against their will like coercive organizations. However, they also did not join them voluntarily like voluntary organizations. These are simply organizations they became a part of because they decided to go to college or start a job with the labor union. I am currently involved in a voluntary organization with my friends where we have put together a hiking group that goes hiking every Sunday. This is considered a voluntary organization because it is a group that I chose to participate in that I do not get paid for. Some of the positives of this group are building friendships. Another positive of this group is being able to work out and keep my body healthy, as well as see beautiful sights around the state. Some negatives include people not being able to come hiking, thus the hike being canceled or people not being able to hike as long as others. However, this is a group I love despite some of the negatives. Question 3. Although I have little to no experience with elections or holding office or campaigning, I did help a friend who served in the public office seat last term. These qualifications are a characteristic of Weber's ideal bureaucracy because I have the qualifications of basic technical competence. While I do not have any official experience, I helped a friend who was in an office. Therefore, I learned the ins and outs of office while helping them. I will provide my confidence under this characteristic by demonstrating that I know the process of how elections work, but also by demonstrating my knowledge of what it takes to hold an office or campaign. Before I would run for office, I would also demonstrate my skills by researching everything that I could so that I could be knowledgeable of the process behind elections and campaigning. I would also research smart campaign strategies so that I could excel in my own campaign. Question 4. As a creative manager of a small group of employees, my job is not only to manage those under me, but also understand why they participate or don't participate in meetings. This is a part of my job because I need input from each of my employees, and if they are not offering input, I need to understand why, and then help them enjoy their job again. If I notice that one of my employees has started to withdraw from meetings, the first step that I would take is reaching out to the employee. I would ask them to come in for a one-on-one meeting and let them know that they're not in any kind of trouble so that I don't create unneeded anxiety. The next step I would take is sitting down with them in the meeting. While in the meeting, I would ask them if they feel as if they are withdrawing from any meetings. If they answered yes, I would ask them, why are they withdrawing? If they answer no, I would describe ways that I feel they have been withdrawing from the meetings. As they give me their answer, I would sit and listen. I would try to empathize with them and understand where they are coming from. I would not interrupt or judge them, but instead listen to them intently. After they finish sharing why they are withdrawn, I will help them come up with a solution. If they feel the job has become boring, I will help them come up with ideas to make their job interesting again. One of these ideas is incorporating one of their hobbies into different areas of their job. Another idea is finding a way to incorporate games into their daily tasks. If it is a personal matter outside of work that is affecting their participation, I would ask them if there's any way that I can help them, whether outside of work or making their job enjoyable, despite whatever is going on outside of the workplace. If they are withdrawn because of another employee, I would offer suggestions of how to resolve the issue with the employee. If that is not possible, I would sit down with each of them so that they are able to engage in their job again. Regardless of the situation or the reason, I would do whatever was in my power to help my employee enjoy and engage in their job again. In order to socialize them again, I would ask if they had anything that caused them to withdraw from socializing. If the cause is something I did, I would sit down with them and ask them to be honest with me. Depending on their response, I would change my behaviors so that they would feel comfortable socializing again and they would be able to participate as the amazing employee that they are.